Once upon a time, in a small village near the forest, there lived a kind and cheerful girl named Little Red Riding Hood. She always wore a bright red cloak that her grandmother had made for her, so everyone called her by that name. One day, her mother gave her a basket filled with fresh bread, honey, and berries and said, "Take this to your grandmother. She is not feeling well. But remember, stay on the path and don't talk to strangers." Little Red Riding Hood happily set off, skipping along the forest path. As she walked, a cunning wolf spotted her from behind the trees. Seeing her alone, he thought, "What a delicious meal she and her grandmother will make." The wolf approached her with a friendly smile. "Good morning, little girl. Where are you going with that lovely basket?" "I'm visiting my grandmother who lives in the little cottage by the big oak tree," she replied. The wolf, being sly, hatched a wicked plan. "What a kind girl you are. Why don't you pick some flowers for your grandmother?" he suggested. Little Red Riding Hood thought it was a wonderful idea. While she wandered off the path to pick flowers, the wolf ran straight to grandmother's house. He knocked on the door. "Who is it?" called the grandmother. "It's me, Little Red Riding Hood," the wolf answered in a sweet voice. Thinking it was her granddaughter, the grandmother opened the door and the wolf pounced. He swallowed her whole and put on her nightcap and glasses, climbing into bed. Soon after, Little Red Riding Hood arrived and knocked. "Grandmother, it's me." "Come in, dear," the wolf said, disguising his voice. As Little Red Riding Hood stepped inside, she noticed something strange. "Grandmother, what big eyes you have." "The better to see you with, my dear," the wolf replied. "And grandmother, what big ears you have." "The better to hear you with, my dear." "But grandmother, what big teeth you have. The better to eat you with." The wolf leaped out of bed to grab her. Just then, a brave woodcutter passing by heard the commotion. He rushed inside, raised his axe, and frightened the wolf. The wolf tried to escape, but the woodcutter quickly defeated him and saved the grandmother, who was still safe inside the wolf's belly. Grandmother and Little Red Riding Hood hugged tightly. "I'll never talk to strangers again," she promised. From that day on, she always listened to her mother's advice and stayed on the safe path. And so, Little Red Riding Hood, her grandmother, and the kind woodcutter lived happily ever after.